We on? Are we on? Good morning, everybody. It's the Truth Serum. Good morning. Go get a coffee, soda, water. Come hang out with me. A lot has happened, of course, and the censorship and monitoring me has just gone through the roof with Facebook and, of course, this platform, um, YouTube. Once I get a person technical enough to transfer all these videos over to X, I'll be moving over to X, where, of course, you have freedom of speech, and then we can act like Americans, and Americans have the right to freedom of speech. But let's see what else is going on here. A lot in the news. A lot in the news. Um, let's get rid of this first of all. If you're new here, I like to have fun. Um, and something strange happened earlier, and a prominent name in the women's professional sports contacted me, and of course I thought it was staged or something like that. But then she sent me a photo and said, "It's really me. It's really me." And I was like, "Damn." And on Facebook, and then when we went to go, boom, we got pulled right off the chat. We got pulled right off the chat. We got pulled. So, honey, if you're out there, be careful what you do with the media and your political views and things like that. Excel in your sport. You will be MVP and you will get a championship, but be careful. Be careful. You know, even though there's going to be a new regime out there, you still got those networks and other that are for the radicals. They're for the radicals. They don't like good old country wholesome women. They don't like that. They're radicals. Be careful who you attach your cart to, and that's all I can say. I didn't think it was you. I don't know how you can make a video like that if you were an imposter. I don't know how you can do that video within 3 seconds to have it on there. But I will not say your name because I know how these machines operate. And don't make any political statements during your career. Just make that money. Be the great woman that you are. And I hope you get a championship and continue to prosper and just have a good life and everything else. So let's move along. CC. The FEMA whistleblower. You ready for this, folks? Just when you think you've heard enough, you can't make this stuff up. FEMA, top FEMA official, they respond to national disasters. She come out and she did the old whistleblow. She's a whistleblower on FEMA. And when those people were stuck and trapped in their houses after the hurricane, they were ordered to skip over the houses that have Trump signs in their front yard. Are you cracking jokes? The more you find out about these Democrats, the worse it gets. Now, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. The last person I voted for was Donald Trump, and before that, it was Ronald Reagan. 40-year gap. But how polluted and diluted have these Democrats and all government agencies just totally evil, total evil. And enough's enough. I mean, holy cow. Trump is flying to Washington to wake Joe Biden up. They're going to have a meeting, and they're going to try to act like they're friends. They're going to try to act like they're friends. And sorry, Kamala Harris, Joe's not getting out of the White House until January. I'm sorry. He doesn't agree to get kicked out, so you could go there and you know, try on the White House. Sorry, it doesn't work. That maybe try to run for president again and get there in the real way. Not with fake primaries and all this gibberish. Folks, you got to realize, out of all the videos and everything I've said, but just keep in mind that Kamala Harris was nothing more than a political puppet from the puppet masters. They pulled her arms and her voice box, and Obama and the Hillary, she's the ringleader. And then the globalists, billionaires, George Soros, Bezos, Bill Gates, they try to control the propaganda media. They have power over politicians. They couldn't buy Donald Trump. And they tried throwing all this crazy stuff out. And people had enough. I mean, come on. Enough's enough. So they're going to try to get that in order and get this dream team. CC, remember the dream team? You weren't born yet, but get the dream team together to get the country back in order. Enough is enough. Holy cow. We're finding out more new things. Oh, and as far as CNN is concerned, CNN, they're backpedaling now. I think if they got any brains left over there, and CBS and The View and all that, they got shamed, they got exposed. They're just propaganda vehicles by the billionaires to dictate elections, more so to speak. They're Marxist socialists. Do you see the annual salaries for that what's her name? Joy Reid, that racist. Jake Tapper, Anderson Cooper, you see Morning Joe, do you see the salaries of these people? Of course they'll get up there and tell you it's raining when they're pissing on your foot. Holy cow. Now that CNN is tanking, they might want to try to trim the fat for those propaganda, irrelevant voice boxes. They're irrelevant. If you want to have a show called The View, get regular thinkers, independent thinkers that can go over some legitimate issues in America. Don't turn your network TV into political apparatuses. It was a watershed moment. Number one, to get our country back on track. And number two, to more or less put a halt to the propaganda media that just got obliterated. CNN's ratings have plummeted so low that they might have to go to the globalists and say, we need another 100 million to pay these salaries off, or otherwise we can't spew that garbage you're telling us to report every day. So what's it going to be? What's it going to be? You want us to you want us to promote propaganda, but I got to pay Anderson Cooper, Jake Tapper, Joe Scarborough, all these other crazies, all these freaking double-digit millions, 40 million, 20 million, 10 million. Well, how do you want to do it, Bill Gates? Write the check so you could pay, because our ratings are plummeting. Our advertisers can't make up, our revenue can't keep up with their salaries. And the fact of the matter is, Bill Gates, people don't care about these hosts anymore on CNN. So we have to realign. Or it's going to get worse before it gets better. Get some fresh new faces up there that actually know what they're talking about. And it's just not hate. They're all running around crying. New York State Attorney General Letitia James, she's up there going, we're not going to stop going after Trump. We're not going to stop. Get over it. Get over it. Come on. Can't you accept defeat? Go on about your business. Try to enjoy your days. Try to enjoy your days. I get pretty animated on here and pissed off and everything like that. But after that, I go have fun. Have fun. Jeez. The dumbing down of America just got smart. The dumbing down of America was in full force. And then America spoke on election day and said, we ain't gonna take it. So, real crazy stuff. Congratulations to Trump's new cabinet. And I'm very confident that they will do a real good job. And Elon Musk, Donald Trump is opening up a new position in government, federal government, to oversee the spending. Where does the money go? Thank you, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, for giving the government, the federal government, some transparency for where your tax dollars are going. For where your tax dollars are going while you're struggling to put food on the table and send your kids to school and all that. And they got all these agencies set up that are just cash cows, just for salaries. People, they're no-show jobs. Well, there's a sheriff in town with his deputy. It's Elon Musk and it's Donald Trump. And all those Democrat agencies and all those bipartisan agencies, including the Republicans, that got all these agencies set up that absolutely don't do nothing but try to promote big government, which you folks usually lose out on. No, that Elon Musk is coming in as to police where does the money go? Because we actually want to balance a budget. We don't want to have national debt increase. Run your government like you would run a solvent business where we can make a profit. Our country should be making a profit. Why is our country in debt? So while you're up there cheerleading and paying tons of money in taxes, wake the fuck up. What the hell? So I can trust Donald Trump and I can trust Elon Musk. They are public servants that have you and your life and quality of life in line. So get off the merry-go-round of CNN and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Obama and Hillary Clinton. Haven't you learned by now they didn't have you in their best interest from the jump? This has been a watershed election. Propaganda and CNN, ABC, they're done until they completely move a little more to the middle and don't be radical propaganda machines for globalist billionaires that want elected officials in our government. They're Marxist socialists. Do your research, folks. Start researching things and looking and become informed. Get some knowledge. Knowledge is power. I've been researching stuff since I was 12. You ain't gonna piss on my foot and tell me it's raining. Nah. So I'm feeling good about that. Thank you, veterans, belated veterans, and everything else. And maybe you could go back to those shelters where they put the immigrants in there, and maybe they'll give you a $10,000 debit card to get on your feet. The disabled veterans and the homeless veterans that in our great New York State, that Dorothy Hochul and all the other evil Democrats that have been tanking New York State for 1,000,000 years, what did they do? Removed all the homeless people out of the shelters? Who'd they put in? The illegal immigrants? And by the way, you need a little extra change in your pocket? Let's start handing out these $10,000 debit cards. Well, no, the truth, sir. They said they were only like 2,000 or 3,000. Oh, really, Billy? They were over here down the street in Cheektowaga. They didn't know how to do the ATM and all that. I had to help the guy. I have certain views about the illegal immigrants, but as a humanitarian, I want to help the guy because, of course, they're going to try to get in here. So some of them are law-abiding citizens, but you got to do it the right way. You got to do it the right way. This area of New York got tons of illegal immigrants, and right from then, the crime rate went up 50% in 1 week. In 1 week, violent crime, boom. I mean, there are some good illegals, but there are some bad. And why should we risk that first and foremost? And then while we still don't know who's good or who's bad, let's just give them all debit cards. Let's just give them all debit cards on top of it. Is anybody even concerned anymore where their taxpayer money goes? Elon Musk is concerned. He just got appointed to a new cabinet for transparency on where your taxpayer money goes. Donald Trump has got your back. Hillary Clinton, Obama, Biden, Harris, they try to pull a shell game on you, folks. They tried to pull a shell game on you. I guess most of you folks seen that rerun before. You've seen that movie. You've seen all that. And then all of a sudden, what happens? It's a landslide election. 99% of the media pre-election commercials that was out, 99% of the election commercials that went out were negative ads against Trump. Negative ads against Trump. Even Google and their search engine, they screwed with the search engine. You couldn't even look up a Trump assassination attempt, and then they had to put it on because there was an outcry. Google search was messing with what you could search and try to gather some information on. That is a total Marxist, communist, socialist move. And all they say at Google is no comment. We're trillionaires. No comment. We're trillionaires. You're scum. You're peasants. Consider everything Donald Trump had to go through. Number one, with the media, and the media, 99% ads against him. All CNN did was talk shit about him for 4 years. Assassination attempts, lawfare, 50-count felonies against him. Everything they could possibly throw at Donald Trump, they did. And he still won it in a landslide. Because guess what? Here's some free consultation. CNN and ABC and CBS. People aren't looking to the traditional networks anymore. People aren't looking there. They watch Fox because Fox just tells you the straight up stuff. They watch Fox. My hat's off to Fox. But those other bum propaganda machinery networks, people aren't looking there. They're on social media, gaining their own they're picking out their own hosts who they watch. They're just not relegated to Anderson Cooper. Who was his mother? A Vanderbilt? Who were the Vanderbilt globalist elites? Anderson Cooper. His mother was a Vanderbilt. Well, do your research. Globalists. And they got their little boy in there, Anderson Cooper, who's the ringleader of all. Look what he makes. 40 mil a year, I believe. 40 millionaire. Well, you're not relevant anymore, Anderson Cooper. And I think they might readjust your salary or tell you to get going, because maybe they could just put up some new real hosts up there that are unbiased, and maybe they'll take a contract for $200,000 a year. Good young college graduates from college and communications and history and social studies. And they got degrees. Maybe they'd get a good-looking guy, a good-looking girl to go on CNN and speak real news and not be tethered to propaganda Marxists and socialists or Democrat political party. So free consultation to CNN. Get rid of your Joy Reids, Joe Scarborough, that wife, these evil messengers for Marxists and propaganda. Flush them all out. Because if you don't, you're going to continue to plummet. It's going to be very interesting to see from this point forward of what CNN puts up there. Going to be very interesting. You got you only got two choices, CNN and all the other propaganda. Do damage control and try to rise up and be a credible news outlet, or continue to fall and plummet and pay $100 million a year in these evil hosts for their salaries, and it's up to CNN. So what do you want to do? You want to join, like John Lennon said, I hope you join up. I hope you join us and the world will live as one. Well, I hope you join the human race, CNN, because otherwise, on a business scale, you're through if you don't change. Fire them all, get some smart, young, good-looking people in there and start reporting news. Start reporting news. What happened in Europe? What happened in Australia? What happened here? Interesting stories. Not a propaganda political machine that's just screw Donald Trump, screw J.D. Vance, screw anybody related to the Republicans. That's all day long. And on The View, it's over. It's over. Jimmy Kimmel, you were crying like a bitch. Didn't you do something called The Man Show once upon a time? Didn't you have The Man Show, Jimmy Kimmel, once upon a time? They chopped your balls off. He was doing a monologue after the election and he was crying. They elected Donald Trump. He cried like a bitch. They chopped his balls off too. Robert De Niro, you're all done. Oh, and by the way, the Hollywood studios don't want nothing to do with those whacked out actors anymore. No. So bye-bye De Niro, George Clooney, whoever they were trying to do. And guess what? They want to know where that $1 billion went, Kamala Harris. They want to know where's the money after the election. Where's that billion? Now all those actors and actresses and everything are like, geez, what a waste that was. What a waste that was. What a waste that was. You'll wish you had that money back because Hollywood is tanking. Those movies, many of them don't even make a profit. Disney is done. That perverted Disney that owns some of these networks. It's Disney that is one level up that owns those propaganda bullshit things. And then Disney tries to put that woke and all that crazy shit into the children's minds. No wonder they're all tanking. How could they believe that Americans would run parallel to those types of whacked out, perverted, psycho agendas? There's a cleansing of America coming. It's called Donald Trump for these 4 years. And when he's done, you got J.D. Vance for 8 years. Who will be the next Democrat nominee to run for president? Who on that side has any credibility left? Who? Any congressman that tries to run, a current congressman that has political presidential aspirations for 2028, look, they'll probably they got to be afraid because during their terms they probably left a trail of destruction and a trail of tears, just like Kamala Harris left in California. So they better get their shit together and start doing things for the benefit of America and not for a paycheck, and get this stuff going because the gig is up. The gig is up. Enough is enough. I never seen in America, in a New York state, this New York state that's been Democrat, they haven't balanced a budget since forever. New York State. The tax base that you should have in New York State, of a highly populated state, the tax base should be so great even with low taxes, which we are the highest tax state in the union, but even with low tax, you'd think this New York State would have a surplus, not a budget deficit. You've had Como in there a million years. You got this witch Hochul in there. Just spend, 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 spend. No oversight. No oversight. Well, newsflash, they've had a Democrat governor in New York State forever. That this last election was pretty close, Dorothy. Maybe the next election, they'll be sending you back to Kansas, Dorothy, because the gig is up. We need a Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, whoever you are, be thinkers. Don't you know about economics and all this? Get some educated people in there that know how to run something. And aren't they even accountants that can run a T-balance? You know, assets, liabilities. Can't they even run a T-balance sheet? But it all just seems to be deficit, 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 deficit. So, like I say, you suckers that go out there and vote for these Democrats, put an extra shift in at the factory so you can pay for all this crazy, crazy bullshit. So, get out there and vote. You see what just happened in the presidential election. So, if you're not happy with your Democratic governors around the country, the next time their term is up for election, vote otherwise. You can't do any worse. Vote Republican. Your sanctuary Democrat states. Well, wait till you get the tab. So your sanctuary state, you're a sanctuary state for illegal immigrants. Well, here's one for you. All you taxpayers that live in those states, wait till the tax bill comes. Wait till the tax bill comes. Well, I think they already came to out of that hypnosis because Donald Trump won all the traditional Democrat states. When it comes to your money in your pocket and putting food on the table for your children and putting clothes on their back and trying to come up with a little extra money for your family, boy, people wake up real quick. Yeah, people wake up real quick. And their woke agenda is dead. Their woke bullshit agenda is dead. And the other people across the country, they woke up out of that hypnosis when they were rooting and defending their oppressors. Rooting and defending their oppressors. That's called the Stockholm Syndrome. You know when men kidnap women and they hold them hostage, and then if they hold them hostage so long, the woman falls in love with the kidnapper? That's what happened. Fall in love with the kidnapper that oppresses you after a 3-year term in office. Well, guess what? They fell out of love with you Democrats, and it was a red wave across the state, and it's over. This should be a golden age. This should be a very pivotal part in American history when we came this close. I mean, not this close for the election results, but they actually had the two most radicals, those Marxists, without a primary process, of course, they had the two most radicals on planet Earth, Tampon Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. Check their track records. Well, you already know by now. The two most radicals that were in there because they didn't run a primary. It was Obama, Marxists, all them, globalists, socialists. Then you got Tim Walz and Kamala Harris that end up on a ticket for president. That is as close as they ever got to really put through their agenda that they've been trying to do since the 40s when they let all those smart Marxist professors and they all infiltrated into America in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And right today, they're at your universities, polluting your children's minds and everything like that. But people can think for themselves. So some of you students question these Marxists that only got one thing on their mind. They're not trying to teach you good juice. They're only trying to indoctrinate your mind with bull crap. but they lost that vote too. They lost all the demographics. Oh, the black men turned on us. The black men turned on us. Well, go thank Obama that had partly. He said before the election that black men can't make a rational or formidable decision. Was Obama trying to tank Kamala Harris and Joe Biden on purpose? Because who would do that? They alienated everybody by the time election day came. They alienated everybody. This Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Tampon Tim was an add-on. He don't even count. That was just a freak show for the perverts. For the perverts in the propaganda Marxists. They threw Tampon Tim Wilson. For the perverts, the globalist perverts, they put them in. Do some research on that. They threw that in like, look. Let's see how many votes they can get. Yeah, okay. But that was the closest that they ever got two of the most radical socialist Marxists in the history of our country that made it to an election. It might have not been by the legal or historical way where you have to have a primary to come up with a candidate, which that alone is communist. Completely dodge our constitutional political process of, you got to win a primary to be the candidate. Americans saw through everything they did. Billy, you want to be a boy or you want to be a girl? Well, you want to be, my mommy said, well, go tell the police go tell your school teacher that your mommy won't let you be a girl, Billy, and then they'll take you out of the house and they'll arrest your parents. Yeah, Kamala, that's from your state, Kamala Harris. Boys and girls that the schools are promoting them and telling them, fourth graders, third graders. Well, if you want to be a girl, Billy, you can go. And Susie, if you want to be a boy, and go home and tell your parents that. And if they don't agree, we're going to arrest them. You wonder why Kamala Harris and them got beat? I had the list when I did the autopsy. I did the autopsy of the election. I did the list. It would take me 3 days to do the whole list of all their whacked out shit they were trying to spoon feed you. Their lies from the tablecloth. Lies from the tablecloth. America came out. So very interesting time. And hey, we woke up today. Let's give a shout out. I'm sorry, I'm a sinner. Jesus, I swear. I swear, but forgive me. Forgive me. And folks that are turned off by that, forgive me. But I was raised by a single mother, and I was taught to stick up for myself. So I'm already censored on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube moderator. I can't get another subscriber. So I can count on maybe. I'm not God's spokesman, but hopefully some of you Marxist socialists that censored me, hopefully, forgive me, God, that they rot in hell. That's all. So I'm counting on them rotting in hell. Because I did political stuff about Brittany Griner and all this and that. Well, I'm going to get a technical person, switch my videos over to X with Elon Musk. Boy, I feel safe with Elon Musk and not the Chinese that own YouTube and Facebook. I feel a lot better with Elon Musk than the Chinese that run this bullshit and Facebook. Give me Elon Musk, okay? I'll be going over to Elon Musk where I could be safe and I could say whatever the hell I want. And if my viewers like it, they will follow me. If they don't, they don't. The way it should be. Not censorship from above, censoring me because they don't like what I say. I hope they rot in eternal damnation in hell. I hope they rot. America is supposed to be God's country. God's country. Or if you don't believe in that, just free. Free. Isn't the freedom of speech the first thing on the Constitution? Freedom of speech? Isn't that the uh, first article in the Constitution? Freedom of speech? Hmm. I got family and friends that died on battlefields. I got family and friends that died on battlefields to protect our country and freedom of speech. So here's one. Fuck you, YouTube. Forgive me, God. Fuck you, Facebook, because that's in respect to my friends that were in Vietnam and World War One, and my grandpa and my uncles and everybody else that put their blood out there so their grandchild and grandnephew could someday come up here and have freedom of speech. So forgive me for swearing, Grandpa and Uncle Tony and Uncle Dan and Jimmy and Bobby. Forgive me for swearing, but for you saved us to protect our First Amendment rights. So fuck YouTube, fuck Kamala Harris, fuck Joe Biden, and fuck all those evil Democrats that try to tank this country, that our soldiers, and remember, Veterans Day was the other day, yesterday. Veterans Day. Veterans Day. Where Dorothy Hochul put them? Where'd that witch Dorothy Hochul put those veterans? In the streets so they could put the illegal immigrants in there. Fuck Dorothy Hochul. Fuck Letitia James. Fuck Mario Cuomo. So bar me. There's nothing more you can do to me, YouTube or whatever. You froze my subscriber ticket. Rotten hell. You're evil demons. You don't even have a conscience. I don't know how you folks can sleep at night. Chinese slant-eyed motherfuckers that are trying to infiltrate and run what is said on social media. Censorship. They kicked Donald Trump off of YouTube. Who am I? They kicked Donald Trump off. Elon Musk said, come over here with me on X where you can say whatever you want. And he wasn't even born. Well, he's got from South Africa and everything. Yeah. You could do whatever you want to me. It's frustrating, but I go out and I have fun. I enjoy the day. I laugh. I like to enjoy life. I appreciate every day. Thank you, Jesus. And if you're interested in a good book, the link is in the description. They Dead Mist. It's on Amazon Books. There's everything in there from A to Z. If there's anybody left out there that reads books, and if you've been, where are we in literacy? Where does America stand in literacy? Are we behind, are we number 47th on the list? So Donald Trump is going to take over the Department of Education and revamp the bullshit that these Democrat teachers and teachers union have been spoon feeding your children, and he's going to put some real material in there. So when you're in ninth grade, you know what 2 + 2 is, and you know knowledge. The gig is up for all them scumbags. The gig is up. Revamp everything. All they try to do is tilt the scales in all these places across America so they can have little hypnotized robots that they will walk off the plank into the ocean like sheep to the slaughter and formulate and mold little kids' minds into craziness and insanity, mostly in the Democratic states. Gig is up. They're all going to be fired, and they're gonna watch. Donald Trump is going to watch the Democratic states and to see if they change in the education system, because then guess what's next? You don't get no federal aid. California, forget about federal aid for your schools. New York State, forget about federal aid for your schools. Michigan and that, forget about your federal aid. Go figure it out yourself. I advise that you residents that do have a little extra money, put your children into private school. And then when they come home, meet with the teachers and see what they're teaching your children. Okay? Be proactive. I mean, do you care about your children? and what they're taught and what kind of world you want to leave them with. So that's it. That's it. All right, folks. And CC, I wish you a national championship if you come over here and watch this video. I wish you to be MVP of the finals, and we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. I didn't realize you were real. Well, now here I am. You should see I am real. Okay? So I wish the best for you, honey. I wish the best for you. So that's it, folks. Let's rise up. Let's pay attention to what's going on. I think we're going to have to lick our wounds, be aware, and let's try to rise up. Life is precious, and let's try to laugh and have some abundance and some prosperity and have a nice, enjoyable life. All right? We're going to put all the gibberish aside and there's mental health problems going on. There's addiction problems going on. A lot of people's minds are polluted and fucked up, and I could see why they go to drugs and alcohol. I was an addict before I died, and so it's in the book. And get your bearings, regroup, refresh, and then you can lead a more mentally stable life. Have good relationships with your spouses or children or family, and raise up our thinking. Let's try to get into a golden age of thinking and prosperity. And let's all get together, Democrats and Republicans, and let's be Americans. Let's be Americans before we're Democrats or Republicans. Let's be Americans and figure out what's in our country's best interest, which they just voted on a week ago. So you heard it. Thank you, folks. The Cash App is in there if you want to put a bologna sandwich down my throat. The link to the description's in there. Help a guy out. I've been fighting for you for 400 videos, and it all went down the drain for nothing but I will take it because my mother taught me to stick up for myself. So if it means 3 years or 4 years of my work going down the drain, I could sleep at night and know I put up a good fight against those communists at freaking YouTube and Facebook. At least my mother would be proud of me. And thank you, Jesus. All right, folks, have a good day. See you soon, God willing.